Welcome back to The Explainer. You know, as a creator today, your talent is completely borderless. A video you post in Mumbai can blow up in Miami overnight. But while your talent travels seamlessly across the internet, your legal protections? Yeah, they absolutely do not. So today, we're giving you the exact legal playbook to secure your freelance contracts and ensure you actually get paid on time, no matter where you are.
Let's kick things off with a massive question that causes so much confusion in the creator economy. What is the minimum contract value for a brand deal? Like, if you do a quick shout out for $50, do you really need a contract? What if they're just sending you some free product?
Well, here is the harsh truth. There is no universal minimum contract value, none. It's honestly one of the biggest myths out there. A lot of creators just sort of assume paperwork only counts once a deal hits some magic high-dollar number. And honestly, believing in that myth is exactly where creators end up losing their hard-earned money.
Okay, here's how we're breaking this explainer down today. We'll cover the magic number myth, the rules by postal code, essential contract elements, the cash flow crisis, your payment escalation path, and finally, how to build borderless protection.
Section 1. The magic number myth.
The minimum contract value isn't based on what feels right, and it certainly isn't based on your follower count. It is a very specific financial threshold set by a local government. The second a deal hits that specific number, boom, a written freelance contract becomes legally mandatory.
Section 2. Rules by postal code. Let's see how this actually plays out globally.
The gap between different countries is just massive. In the US, the mandatory contract threshold sits at $800. Over in France, starting in January 2026, it jumps up to 1,000 euros, which is roughly $1,080. But then look at Singapore and India. In those markets, the threshold is effectively zero. A contract is legally expected for every single job, literally no matter how small.
So imagine a creator, let's call her Priya, and she lands a €600 brand deal in France. She might think, well, it's pretty small, I'll just skip the contract. And because France's threshold sits higher at €1,000, she legally can. The mandatory rule doesn't kick in. But if Priya does that exact same 600 deal in Singapore, a written contract is expected by law, period. Her entire legal protection flips based solely on her postal code.
Now, for US creators, there is a massive catch you need to know about. Under the Freelance Isn't Free Act, that $800 trigger applies whether it's one single project or several small jobs with the same brand aggregated over 120 days. That aggregation rule catches so many creators entirely by surprise.
Section 3. Essential contract elements. What actually needs to be in this document?
Right, so whatever country you live in, your contract template absolutely must include these 5 core elements. You need the full legal details of both parties, a fully itemized list of your deliverables, the agreed compensation amount, the payment method, and the payment due date. Listen, a quick Instagram DM saying, yes, let's do it, is incredibly weak protection compared to a signed one-pager. In places like Singapore, even a $50 free product deal legally warrants these terms in writing.
Section 4. The cash flow crisis. Let's talk about the absolute worst part of this business, getting paid late.
Getting ghosted on a payment isn't just some abstract administrative headache, right? It is a full-blown cash flow crisis. It threatens your rent, your EMIs, and your actual ability to keep creating content. As one creator put it, when a brand sits on your invoice, you're literally funding their marketing with your own savings. This is exactly why most professional deals run on a net 30 norm, meaning payment is due 30 days after invoicing. It's also why smart creators are now adding a late fee clause, usually around 1 to 1.5% per month, right into their contracts. It changes brand behavior incredibly fast.
Section 5. Your payment escalation path. So, when an invoice goes quiet, you do not just sit back, wait, and hope. You follow this exact 4-step escalation path. Step 1. Send a friendly reminder with the invoice attached. If they ignore you, Step 2 is sending a formal demand letter citing your contract and local law. Still getting ghosted? Step 3 is filing a small claims case. And Step 4 is filing a statutory complaint with the relevant local authority.
The real advantage here is knowing exactly which pressure lever your local laws give you. Directly naming these specific penalties in your Step 2 demand letter, that is what terrifies bad actors into unblocking your payment fast. In the US, breaking that 30-day window means you can cite double damages and attorney fees. In Singapore, it's a 45-day fallback, and you can flag IMDA grant blacklisting, which is a massive reputational and financial hit. In France, it's 30 days with strict shared liability.
To put this enforcement leverage into perspective, in New York, repeat offenders who break that 30-day payment rule can face massive civil penalties of up to $25,000. That is a serious deterrent. The absolute strongest demand letters don't just ask for the money, they name the specific penalty the brand is risking.
Section 6. Building Borderless Protection. We've established that the modern creator economy is totally borderless. But because the laws remain stubbornly fragmented, your entire business can thrive or stall out based entirely on your passport. A creator in India working with a U.S. brand does not automatically inherit U.S. protections unless the contract explicitly says so. You are running a borderless business, but you have to survive in a world of highly localized rules.
So, until global infrastructure somehow catches up, your smartest move by far is to mandate ironclad paperwork for every single campaign. Consistency is your real safety net here. Do not let a brand's size or the size of a deal dictate your protection. Make a written contract your own personal standard, whether you live in a $0 threshold market like Singapore or an $800 one like the US.
So I'll leave you with this. Will you let your postal code decide your business reality? Take 5 minutes today to check your local laws. Are you leaving your own money completely exposed just because you assumed a deal was too small to protect? Understand your local tier, lock in those contracts, and know exactly what leverage you hold when it's time to get paid. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep creating, and most importantly, keep your business protected.